Crimson Night, Part 1. The city of Noctaire had one rule after midnight: never look into the windows. People whispered about creatures moving behind the glass of abandoned buildings. Some called them demons, others called them vampires. But nobody who truly saw them ever returned the same. At 12:13 a.m., Aria Winters stepped off the last train into the rain-soaked station of Noctaire City. The air felt wrong immediately. Too cold, too silent. She pulled her suitcase behind her and checked the crumpled address in her pocket again. Blackwood Manor, Hillcrest District, the place where her missing brother had last been seen. Lightning flashed outside the station windows. For a split second, she saw a man standing across the street, tall, black coat, motionless, watching her. Then darkness swallowed him again. Aria frowned uneasily and walked toward the taxi stand outside. Empty, no drivers, no people. Only one black car waiting beneath the rain. The driver's window slowly rolled down. A deep voice spoke from inside. "You should not be outside tonight." Aria stepped closer carefully. The driver wore black gloves and a dark suit. His face remained hidden beneath shadows. "I'm looking for Blackwood Manor," she said quietly. Silence. Then the stranger slowly lifted his eyes toward her, bright silver blue. Not normal. Aria froze. The man studied her for several seconds before speaking again. "You need to leave this city." His voice was calm but strangely protective. Aria crossed her arms nervously. "People keep saying that." The stranger glanced toward the empty streets because people disappear here. Thunder exploded overhead. Suddenly, a scream echoed somewhere nearby. A woman's scream. Aria turned instantly toward the alley beside the station. Another scream followed. Closer, terrified. Without thinking, Aria ran toward the sound. "Wait," the stranger warned sharply. But she was already gone. Rain poured heavily as Aria entered the dark alley. The smell hit her first. Blood. Fresh blood. Her footsteps slowed. A girl around her age lay against the wall, trembling violently, her neck covered in blood. Standing over her was something monstrous. A pale man with black veins crawling beneath his skin. Its mouth dripped crimson. Its glowing eyes lifted slowly toward Aria. Then it smiled. Too wide. Too unnatural. Aria stumbled backward in horror. The creature lunged. Suddenly, a black figure crashed between them. The silver-eyed stranger, the impact shattered bricks beside the alley wall. The creature hissed violently as the stranger grabbed its throat with impossible strength. Aria watched in shock. No human could move that fast. The monster snarled, revealing rows of sharp teeth. "You brought her here," it hissed. The stranger's expression darkened instantly. "I told you never to hunt again." Then, crack! The creature's neck twisted unnaturally. Its body collapsed lifelessly into the rain. Aria's breathing became uneven. The stranger stood silently over the corpse before slowly turning toward her. Rain dripped from his dark hair. His glowing silver blue eyes locked onto hers. Not human. Her voice shook. "What are you?" For the first time, emotion crossed his face. Pain. Regret. Then he answered softly, "The reason you're no longer safe." Police sirens echoed faintly through the city. The stranger stepped closer protectively. "Listen carefully," he said quietly. "Whatever happens tonight, do not let them see your blood." Aria stared at him in confusion. Why? Before he could answer, the dead creature behind him suddenly opened its eyes again and smiled. Cut to black. Like, comment episode 2, subscribe, and share if you want the truth about the silver-eyed stranger revealed. Crimson Night, Part 2. Rain hammered against the alley walls. Aria's terrified eyes locked onto the dead creature behind the silver-eyed stranger. Its neck was broken, its body motionless. But now, it was smiling. Slowly, unnaturally, the creature began rising again. Bones cracked loudly as its head twisted back into place. Aria stumbled backward in horror. "That's impossible." The stranger stepped protectively in front of her. "No," he said quietly. "That's Blackthorn." The creature's black eyes focused directly on Aria now. Hungry. Obsessed. "You can smell it too," it whispered. The stranger's jaw tightened instantly. "Stop talking." The creature laughed. "She doesn't know what she is yet." Before Aria could react, the creature suddenly sprinted toward her at terrifying speed. The stranger moved even faster. In one violent motion, he slammed the monster through a brick wall. The alley exploded with dust and shattered stone. Aria stared in shock. No human could do that. The creature hissed violently beneath the rubble. "You can't protect her forever, Kael." Aria froze. Kael. Not the name he gave her before. The stranger's expression darkened. You lost the right to say my name." Suddenly, the creature lunged again. But this time, Kael caught its face with one hand. His glowing silver blue eyes slowly shifted darker. Predatory. Dangerous. Then Aria saw it, sharp fangs extending from his mouth. Her breathing stopped. Vampire. Kael noticed her expression instantly. Pain crossed his face. Not because she discovered the truth, but because he cared what she thought. The creature beneath his grip smiled cruelly. "She fears you now." Kael crushed the creature's throat violently. Its body collapsed permanently this time. Silence filled the alley. Only rain. Only thunder. Aria backed away slowly. "You're one of them." Kael's voice lowered softly. "Yes." Fear and confusion battled inside her chest. She should run. Every instinct screamed at her to run. But instead, she looked at the blood covering his hand. "You saved me." Kael stared at her silently. Then distant footsteps echoed from the street nearby. More creatures. Several of them. Kael's eyes shifted toward the alley entrance instantly. "They found you." Before Aria could ask what he meant, all the streetlights outside suddenly shut off together. Darkness swallowed the city. Then glowing red eyes began appearing one by one inside the shadows, watching them, smiling. At least 10 figures slowly emerged from the darkness. Not human. One stepped forward. A beautiful pale woman dressed in black velvet, her crimson eyes locked onto Aria with fascination. Then she looked toward Kael. "You hid her from us," she said calmly. Kael moved in front of Aria again. "She has nothing to do with this." The woman smiled coldly. "Oh, she has everything to do with this." Aria's heartbeat pounded violently. "What are they talking about?" The woman tilted her head curiously. "You really haven't told her?" Kael remained silent. The woman's smile widened. "Your blood can awaken the first immortal." Aria's face paled. "What?" Kael grabbed her wrist immediately. "We're leaving." The vampires suddenly attacked together. Kael pulled Aria into the darkness just as claws tore through the alley behind them. They sprinted through the rain-soaked streets at impossible speed. Aria could barely breathe. The city blurred around her. Kael held her protectively against him as they escaped through empty roads and abandoned buildings. Finally, they entered an old cathedral hidden between towering skyscrapers. Massive doors slammed shut behind them. Silence. Aria pulled away from him shakily. "You lied to me." Kael looked at her quietly. "Yes. What am I?" For the first time, the immortal vampire looked afraid. Not for himself. For her. Then he spoke the words that changed everything. "You were never supposed to survive the night you were born." Lightning illuminated the cathedral windows behind him. And in the reflection, Aria suddenly saw strange black veins slowly spreading beneath her own skin. Like, comment Lucian, subscribe, and share if you want more dark vampire romance and horror mysteries. Crimson Night, Part 3. The cathedral was silent except for the storm outside. Aria stared at the black veins slowly spreading beneath her skin. Then, they vanished, like they were never there. Her breathing became uneven. What was that? Kael stood several feet away in silence, his silver blue eyes fixed on her carefully. The beginning. Lightning flashed through the giant cathedral windows, briefly illuminating ancient statues covered in dust. Aria stepped backward slowly. "You said I shouldn't have survived." Kael's expression tightened. "There are stories older than vampires," he said quietly, "creatures that existed before immortality itself." Aria shook her head. "Stop speaking in riddles." For a moment, Kael looked almost human, tired, broken. Then he finally answered. "Your mother was hiding you from them." Aria froze. "You knew my mother?" "Yes." "How?" Silence. Too much silence. Then Kael spoke softly. "She died because of me." The words hit her like ice. Outside, thunder exploded violently. Aria's eyes filled with anger. "You're lying." Kael looked away. "She trusted me once." Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the cathedral doors. Then another. Something massive was hitting the entrance from outside. The ancient wood trembled violently. Aria backed away in fear. Kael's eyes darkened instantly. "They found us too quickly." Another impact shook the cathedral. Cracks spread across the doors. Then, a calm voice echoed from outside. "Open the door, Kael." Kael went completely still. Not fear. Something worse. Recognition. The voice continued softly. "You know she belongs to us." Aria looked toward him nervously. "Who is that?" Kael's jaw tightened. "The first vampire I ever killed." The cathedral suddenly went silent again. No banging, no sound. Then slowly, a tall figure appeared behind the stained glass windows outside, not moving, watching them. a man dressed entirely in black, white hair, crimson eyes glowing through the storm. Even from a distance, his presence felt wrong, ancient, monstrous. Aria's chest tightened painfully as the stranger smiled directly at her. Then all the candles inside the cathedral extinguished together. Darkness swallowed the room instantly. Aria gasped. Suddenly she felt cold fingers brush lightly against her neck. Right behind her, a whisper entered her ear. "You smell exactly like her." Aria screamed and turned. The white-haired vampire stood inches away from her. Impossible. He had been outside seconds ago. Kael moved instantly. He slammed the ancient vampire through the stone altar with terrifying force. The cathedral exploded with debris. Aria stumbled backward in shock. The two vampires crashed through pillars and shattered marble as they fought with inhuman speed. The white-haired vampire laughed during the battle. "You finally care about someone again." Kael attacked him again violently. "Stay away from her." The ancient vampire blocked him easily this time. Then his red eyes slowly shifted toward Aria. "You truly don't remember me, do you?" Aria's heartbeat slowed strangely. Something about his face felt familiar. Impossible. The vampire smiled softly. Then he spoke words that shattered her completely. "You have your father's eyes." Silence. Kael froze instantly. Aria stared at the ancient vampire in horror. "No." The vampire tilted his head slightly. "Yes?" Kael's voice turned deadly. Ancient. Monstrous. Aria's chest tightened painfully as the stranger smiled directly at her. Then all the candles inside the cathedral extinguished together. Darkness swallowed the room instantly. Aria gasped. Suddenly she felt cold fingers brush lightly against her neck. Right behind her, a whisper entered her ear. "You smell exactly like her." Aria screamed and turned. The white-haired vampire stood inches away from her. Impossible. He had been outside seconds ago. Kael moved instantly. He slammed the ancient vampire through the stone altar with terrifying force. The cathedral exploded with debris. Aria stumbled backward in shock. The two vampires crashed through pillars and shattered marble as they fought with inhuman speed. The white-haired vampire laughed during the battle. "You finally care about someone again." Kael attacked him again violently. "Stay away from her." The ancient vampire blocked him easily this time. Then his red eyes slowly shifted toward Aria. "You truly don't remember me, do you?" Aria's heartbeat slowed strangely. Something about his face felt familiar. Impossible. The vampire smiled softly, then he spoke words that shattered her completely. "You have your father's eyes." Silence. Kael froze instantly. Aria stared at the ancient vampire in horror. "No." The vampire tilted his head slightly. "Yes." Kael's voice turned deadly quiet. "Don't touch her mind." But it was too late. Suddenly, strange memories flashed violently inside Aria's head. A burning house, her mother screaming, blue fire everywhere, a man carrying her through darkness, crimson eyes watching her from the flames. The same crimson eyes standing before her now. Tears filled Aria's eyes. "You were there that night." The ancient vampire smiled sadly. "I was more than there." Kael moved protectively toward her again. "Aria, don't listen to him." But the vampire's next words stopped everything. "I am your father." Lightning exploded across the cathedral sky, and behind Kael, several glowing red eyes slowly appeared inside the darkness once again. They were surrounded. Like, comment Blackthorn, subscribe, and share if you love dark vampire romance, hidden identities, and supernatural horror mysteries.